All right, guys, welcome back to Dads Against the Narrative, the podcast where we cut through all the noise, challenge the status quo, and talk real talk about life, family, and the world all around us. Today, we have a special guest joining us, Steve Eckert. Thank you, bro, for being here. And my co host today is Alex Lang. So, guys, we're going to jump right into it as we usually do. And, Steve, I have just one question for you to get this ball rolling. What was that one red pill event that really opened up your mind to life and say, you know what, maybe I don't want to go down that road anymore, or just making you challenge the status quo of life, of what they're teaching us and preaching to us?
Yeah, I love this. Such an awesome question and such an awesome topic. We could sit here for hours and days and weeks just diving and digging deep into it. And I love the idea of the red pill moment, but I think people on the internet kind of almost like water it down because it's such a powerful concept, a powerful idea. Like ever since obviously comes from the movie, but I like to think of it as a point of like divergence where you have to make the discernment of, right, am I going this direction or that direction? It's like those pivotal points. And I think it's so many areas and times in life, especially as a man, there's different levels of it, different moments of it where you realize you've been either your life is on autopilot or you've just been following someone else's script or society's script. And you realize most men are sleepwalking and they just become compliant and dependent and distracted. And you start seeing yourself as becoming that man. It's a scary freaking thing as a man when you start seeing, holy shit, that's me. Realizing maybe that you're slipping up on your discipline or you're becoming the parent that you freaking hated and swore you never would be like, and your marriage is dying, or the men are losing their edge, or they're not leading their kids the way they should be. It's a freaking wake-up call that slaps you in the face. So when it comes to me personally, I think there's so many stages, and we could break them all down in stages, but my red pill probably wasn't just one moment. It was a stack of them. Like life kept just slapping me awake at every stage until I finally realized, all right, this is that divergent path. I have to choose and make the discernment of what destiny am I going to go with, and realize I wasn't meant to follow a certain script that I was born into. If I had to narrow it down just to one, and then we could branch off to that in a million different directions, I'd say the biggest, like the moment that I took the biggest red pill idea wasn't about me. It was again that point of divergence where I realized, all right, there's two paths, and this is after my son was born. So really, the first one, really one of the main ones, obviously when my son is born, but after he's born and we're kind of getting into the life of having a kid, it's realizing I could either decide to keep chasing my own dreams now that I was in a place that I actually could pursue them. Because when I was a kid, I had no one helping me, even teaching me to dream, or I was just trying to not be hungry every day. So once I became an adult, I said, okay, now I can actually start pursuing some dreams and goals that I never had as a kid. And this is the time I could start doing it. So I had to decide once I had a kid, all right, keep chasing my own dreams or start living for their dreams, for my kids and their future dreams. I can continue building my life for myself, or I could sacrifice everything and in a way, give up my own bigger goals and dreams that would be that I would need to be selfish in order to accomplish, and be a father and sacrifice it for them, to give my children the chance that I never had as a kid and start from scratch instead of me starting from 30 something years old to chase a dream, say to be a pro fighter or something. All right, I could have gone that route if I wanted to, but it probably would have meant I would have been sacrificing my own kids' future. So it's like, all right, I could do it or I could give it up and now make sure they do it the right way from the beginning, from scratch. Like really being that man who I never had when I was a kid, the man I needed when I was a kid, and sharing it with the world. And I chose them. I chose to break the cycle and to build that legacy, to raise them as strong and present and disciplined freaking savages. And that single decision changed everything. It's been that red pill, that divergent moment that really shaped every move that I've ever made since then. And we could take this in a million different directions, but I would say that was if there had to be narrowed down to one, that would be the one pivotal one. I mean, there were red pill moments in childhood without a positive male role model. When I went to jail, when I went to the Marine Corps, when I became a father, when I decided to move across the country and leave everything in New York and move to California, when I closed my gym, when I started coaching, when I started doing homeschooling. Every one of those is little elements to it, little different stages, but that one moment was when I said, all right, do I give up on, and it's a hard for a man to do, give up on my own dreams in order to help them chase their dreams. And that was really the one real impactful one, I'd say, of all of them.
Bro, I'd say that's like when you're saying that, the first thing that comes to mind is that you decide what your time was going to look like. And to me, that I feel like I had a similar thing when my son was born, but I didn't become a dad till 38, and I just pinned captain in the Army. So it was like I went from sergeant to captain finally. I was like, yeah, I'm finally getting to that field grade level that I really wanted to get to. And I looked at my wife. I'm like, I don't know if I'm passionate about leadership anymore. I don't know if because I thought like my whole goal was leadership in the Army. I loved being a sergeant. I love being an officer. I love both. I just love being in the military. And I remember that same day when my son was born, I was just like, I need to start living my life for him, not for me. This was what I thought my dream was, but this
Hmm.
little kid just changed all of it. So when that COVID shit happened and I refused the vaccine, me and Alex have a very similar story. We both had 13 years and both removed because we refused the COVID vaccine. Um, well, I got early retired, luckily for me, because I fought them tooth and nail for 2 years. But I mean, it really was the same for me. It's like when I look at him that first time, I was just like, dude, I want the time to be with him. I want the time to spend with my son and my family and not with the military. And it was hard because those first 2 years I was still in and I was still getting deployed all the time and moving to do exercises and Louisiana, Texas, you know how it goes, and just sent all over the place doing exercises. So for me, when if that time finally came where I got removed or retired, however you want to look at that, I started thanking God every day for my time. I said, thank you, God, for giving me the freedom of my time, what I get to do with it. And I think that's what became my passion is fatherhood, right? It's like me and you know each other from fatherhood space, not actually
Yeah.
military. Same with Alex. Me and him don't know each other from military. We know it from fatherhood. I didn't know it was going to lead me to this path. I didn't know it was going to lead me towards something that was totally out of my perspective when I was a soldier. I just thought like, oh, fathers do this. And then I met guys like you and other guys. I'm like, dude, I need to be a dad. I need to step the fuck up. Like you said, it's like I needed what is a dad? What is a good dad? I never had one. So I had to learn. And I love that you said that and 100% agree that that's a
Yeah,
huge.
imagine if you would have stayed in and kept pursuing that. You probably could have went far in the military, right? You seem like you're on the fast track. You could have just got their little shot, complied, and probably been elevated and been high status and high ranking and gone on to a glorious military career. But in order to do that, you probably, not saying they all have to do it, you would have sacrificed some of your fatherhood because you wouldn't have been there nowhere near as much as you were. So it's like, okay, you achieved this great thing, but then it kind of ends there. I'm sure you would have helped tons of guys in the military as well and impacted them, but at the cost of not impacting your own son, your own blood. Like that's exact story, exact way I'm talking, exact story. That's pretty cool.
There's nothing bigger than that, I don't think either. Sorry, Alex. Go on, man. I'll pass
No,
it
you're
over.
good. One thing I love about your story, Steve, and even following you along your journey is that even making this choice of being like a full-time father, being into that field, you've incorporated your kids into that realm too. A lot of people think as they step into fatherhood that they just have to give up their dreams or aspirations, but the reality is, how can you incorporate your kids into the journey? Our fathers and the men before us, they were always gone. And so there's been this push to go into the extreme opposite where we're there all the time, but we're in a more sensitive realm. And the reality is we need to be there more and we need to be there with a positive role model, like you said, being in their face, pushing them, making them do hard things. And that's what men I think need to be aware of is that, hey, be there, continue to move forward, but integrating your kids. It takes me back to last year. I took my oldest son, who's 10. We went on a 100-mile pilgrimage in the Camino de Santiago, and we did it in 6 days. And on day five, we're in the forest. We're about to get into the final hill, and he collapsed. And he says, "I can't do this anymore." And he's having this, temper tantrum. And I just sit next to him, and I'm like, "I hear you, dude. I hear you. I'm in pain too. I'm with you." And it took me back to my own father, like giving up initially when I've always pushed against it. And so many men, when we hit this resistance with our kids, maybe we're pushing them too hard or our approach is not the way that they can take it, they just give up. But the reality is, like watching your journey, Jack's journey, my journey, hey, we're going to be there. And you may not like it, but at the end of the day, it's for your own good. And so many men need that right now, just that awareness of what you're shining light on, like you said. And hey, I'm going to incorporate my kids. I'm going to prepare them for real life rather than just sleepwalking. I think that's the term you use. I loved it. Sleepwalking through life because so many men do that.
Yeah, we try to take our kids along for the ride, and even my wife. We all do pretty much everything together. We work out 7 days a week together. We eat dinner 7 days a week together. We work in all of our businesses together. We do our homeschooling, and we provide 100% of their education homeschooling. We don't have any tutors, there's no subjects, there's no science class and math class. Like, they learn through living, through life. But then we take them to events. Like this past weekend, we were at Operation Black Site, and they're around so many high-level individuals and learning from entrepreneurs and business owners and military special forces and UFC fighters that are there, and connecting with them, getting to train with them and learn from them. Like, that's their homeschooling. They're learning life just by living with us. And we do all that shit together. And you were saying about some parents might push their kids too hard. I'm pretty sure that that's usually not the case. It's like some do, but most of them aren't pushing them hard enough, or they're deep enough and present enough and doing enough shit together and going hard enough with them. It's because they're lazy themselves. They're just coasting through and sitting on the sidelines. Like, I see myself as I'm in the business of replacing myself. I'm putting myself out of a job. I want to get better every day, but I'm creating future leaders and future father who also are going to create future leaders and future fathers, because that's how we really spread. That's what legacy is. Legacy is built in the freaking living room, not in the bank account.
Yeah, 100%, Steve. And you know, what Alex and you were both saying about pushing it too far, I think it's a ridiculous question that people will ask me all the time. They're like, don't you think it's a little messed up that your 5-year-old's doing burpees all the time? I'm like, no, I don't hit him. He loves it. He's in better shape than your kids because he's doing burpees all the time for consequences. There's consequences for actions. And there's this dad, I'm not even joking. Hopefully he listens to it too. Hopefully he does. He said, I don't believe in consequences. I think my kids shouldn't have consequences. I think that's too harsh of a word. And I swear to you, Steve, I looked at my wife and I walked away because my wife already knows how I am, right? And we're the exact same. My family is together. We are a crew. We are a team. Anywhere we go, we're together, the whole family, and we show up. And when we show up, we're going to elevate the energy in the room. But so when someone says some shit like that, where they're like, I don't believe in consequences. Well, that's why your 8-year-old boy's painting his nails pink and other fucking gay ass colors, is because you're allowing that and you're not showing what leadership is, or even showing him that there's consequences for his actions in life. So what's that going to teach him down the road as he's kicking the can down the road and he just jumps on the next bandwagon, jumps on whatever the hottest trend is in the world right now? I mean, that's not a way of being a leader to me, you know. It's quite pathetic, actually. It's quite the opposite. And so I wanted to ask one question before we move forward, because me and Alex are both homeschoolers, also very similar as you. We put them in positions to learn from other people, and we teach all the subjects at home, but no real like subjects. We don't sit down and a science book or anything. That's not happening. Do you think like the homeschool mentality? There's so many people that will be like, dude, you need to be teaching your kid this, this, and this. Do you think there is a pattern that people should take? Because I'm a big believer, the same as what you were kind of just saying, is that, you know, we do unschool and we kind of let them have the passion-driven experience where if they're passionate about it, we go that way and they lead it. Do you think there's a mentality in homeschooling that we have to dumb them down for public sake?
Oh, hell no. That's part of that whole divergent path that I talk about. We are going the opposite direction. We're going to be bold, stand out, take risks, and do things our fucking way, and not care what anyone that doesn't matter thinks about it. Like, we are completely different. And there are foundational things that we do with homeschooling when it comes to discipline and reading. We all read the same kind of books, but it's like you're gonna read every day. We're also gonna train every day. We're gonna work out every day. We're gonna move. We're gonna be active. We're gonna eat dinner together every day. We're gonna have conversations every day. Like, so there are the daily disciplines, and if you want to call them subjects, but no, I will not conform. That's exactly why we took them out of school, to not conform to what? Make people happy that don't have the same belief systems as you and don't think the same way as you. For what? Like, those it really doesn't matter what those people think. We don't have to make them happy. We don't have to appease them or comply with them. That's the whole purpose of going this direction that we're going. We're living our own freak freedom lifestyles, I like to call it, and we're going to do things our way and on our terms. And I like to say play your game, like from the movie Miracle with, I forget the guy, Herb Brooks was the coach on the U.S. Russian against the Russian team in the 1980 Olympics. And he said, we're not going to play their game. He said, you play your game. Like, they were going against the grain. Like, they were the biggest upset in sports history. They're supposed to get dominated. And they played their game, not the other team's game. And they ended up freaking obviously coming out on top, like marching to the beat of your own drum. There's a song we listened to as a family. It was from the show Lost that we got into, and it was from like the 60s. And it talks about create your own kind of music is in the song. We listen to it all the time. It's like a weird older song, but we like listen to it sometimes going to the gym, and we're freaking blasting it because it's like live your own life, not what everyone else wants you to live. Do things on your own terms and what's going to make you happy and make you be in alignment with what you believe and the virtues of man that you believe in your own code. And we have our own family like freak code. Like, we're going to live our way, being purpose driven.
I love that you dove into purpose driven just because, we were talking about this yesterday. So many men are disconnected from themselves and their families. And everything that you're saying with regards to homeschooling and taking ownership and responsibility in our lives, it creates this deeper connection, not only with our family, but with ourselves too. We have more clarity in the direction that we want to go. And it's contagious. Like, I'm sure that your sons and you have a daughter, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Son and
Your
a daughter.
son and your daughter, they're looking at you and they're like, man, dad is living in his power. He's living in his purpose. I want to be like him. And that is how we're going to take this next step of evolution in America and society of taking ownership back in our families. And you said it starts in the living room, not in the classroom. So many people want to push and blame when they're giving their kids to schools. They want to blame because they come home and they're like, why are you acting like this? It's the school's fault. But the reality is, if we can live this life, if we can get clear and find our purpose, then we can start taking ownership and having our kids back into that. I just wanted to say that because if anybody's listening, that is the life right there. For me, when what I do is I want people to just live a life of purpose, and it starts with choice. And choice is the number one freedom that we have, but we have to realize that we have choice in every single aspect of our lives.
Yeah, I love what you just said. And you said live in the living room. The legacy is built in the living room, not the classroom. I said earlier about the bank account or the boardroom, but you added in the classroom. I love that. I love adding that in. I'm writing, taking down notes as we're going here. I want to, like, this. That's awesome. Yeah, it makes sense. In the living room, not in the classroom. That's a freaking perfect way of describing homeschooling in one sentence, one statement right there.
Yeah, I think yesterday too, Alex, what you were talking about is that when we homeschool, we have the options of saying, like, if my kid fucks up, it's on me. And I really like this because I was re-listening to yesterday what we were talking about. And so many parents out there, they don't want to homeschool because they don't want to have all of the blame, right? My kid failed, so they blame the school system instead of having all of that onus on them, right? And they have no ownership is what it really comes down to. There's no ownership from parents, and especially fathers. Like, when I talk to a father and they're just like, oh, dude, I can never homeschool. Why? Because you're just not disciplined enough? Because you're going to give up your free time? You fucking had children for a reason. It's to hang out with them and teach them. It's not for you to have your free time. It's the same thing as what you do, Steve, how you go to the gym with your kids. I wait till my kids wake up now. So I still wake up at 5. Instead, I do like a run with my dog and hang out with the dog, drink my coffee. And at 7, me and the boys and my wife, we all do a workout at home. Usually just dumbbell hit workouts, right? But the whole family's involved. And there's so many fathers I'm watching. It's like, dude, I wouldn't be able to work out if my kid was a homeschooler. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's bullshit excuse because they're not even doing the workouts themselves. Now they would be forced to work out if they get the whole family involved, and then the kids will be holding them accountable, and they don't want to be. Like, it goes back to the red pill, like the red pill like concept. Red pill, when you choose the red pill, it requires responsibility, and most men don't want that. Most men never take that red pill because it forces them to face the brutal truth that your life is your fault, your future is your fault, your results are your fault, the way your kids end up is your fault, your kids' grades in school are your fault. So let's go push it off on a teacher that's going to teach them all this stupid shit we don't even believe in, so we can then blame them when our kids are fucked up or on drugs or do whatever else. Like, there's no blaming with the idea of the red pill. There's no blaming the government or even your own parents or your shitty childhood or your boss or society or bad luck. Like, yeah, I had a shitty childhood, but you can only pull that card for so long before it's time to put on your big boy pants and say, okay, I am taking this red pill, which means I'm taking responsibility. That red pill destroys the victimhood mentality and replaces it with the responsibility you're talking about. Like, think about that guy you were saying. You said he was hoping he was watching where he. What did you say he said about his?
He doesn't believe in consequences for
Oh
his kids.
yeah. Do you think when that guy comes home from work, he sits there and his son? I guarantee the guy's probably, I don't know. I'm guessing probably out of shape, probably not that healthy, probably I don't even know. Just guessing. Do you think his son or someone like that and their kids hear them talk like that and they soak that in when their father comes home from work? Do you think their son is sitting there looking at that guy and hearing how he operates and hear him say things like this and not take responsibility and think, wow, I want to be just like that guy when I'm older. I want to look just like him. I want to act like him. I want to have the same virtue as him and the same values. Hell no. He's like, I want to be nothing like that motherfucker. Like, holy crap. And those are the people who would never homeschool, like you said, because they don't want the responsibility, because they have to then enforce consequences, that they don't want the stress and pressure, or anxiety, or whatever. When I was first going into homeschooling, I was hesitant like anyone else. Didn't get it. I didn't understand it because you're so warped and brainwashed about how education has to be for your kids. Like, I didn't understand. I'm like, well, who's going to give them their grades and score their test? And he's like, no. You got to wrap your head around it a totally different way. I said, okay, what's the one downside to homeschooling? Like, why would I not want to homeschool? And he said, if you're a shitty parent. If you're a shitty parent, then absolutely send your kids to school. They'll probably be better off there than home stuck with a shitty parent. So I was like, all right, copy that. Like, that was the final like thing to click in my mind. And then we pulled the trigger on it. But yeah, those people don't want responsibility. That's what that red pill is, the pill of responsibility.
I love that you said that. That's probably one of the best lines I've heard, because most people, and we do talk mostly about dads and men here on the show, but most people don't question anything. It's so fucking strange to me. Like, I question everything. If my son brings it to me, I try to find both sides. We research it. We look at it. I mean, it's a very homeschool thing that a lot of homeschoolers do this, where we do research both sides and we kind of let our kids play both sides, red team, blue team. And I think it's weird that people don't do that. I think it's weird that people don't question anything, even from the government. It was like the other day here in Mexico, they don't really do chemtrails so often, right? But they've been blasting them lately. And I told someone, I said, man, you see these chemtrails? Like, that's not chemtrails. That's just regular clouds. I'm like, dude, do you not just like look into anything? Like, you just allow it all to just like seep through. Do you know what is up in there? Or do you know what chemicals are in there? And they just thought I was the fucking biggest loony ever, because I'm like, dude, there's chemtrails. That's like a proven fact already. Like, we already know, like, this isn't even a big conspiracy. It's facts. And so it's so strange to me that there's men or just people that don't question shit at all. And if you do that, there's no way you're going to homeschool, because you're already taking the narrative and you're saying, oh, thanks for giving me the narrative. Thanks for giving me my left and right limits. It's like a private. A private doesn't need to know shit. They just need to show up in the right uniform at the right time, and they don't need to think, because who's going to tell them? Their team leader is going to be like, hey, you need this. You need to do this at this time at the motor pool. You need to go start the engines and do. It's so easy as a private.
Told when to shit, when to shower, when to shave. You're told when to do everything.
It's the easiest shit ever. So it blows my mind that there's just people not questioning shit in life.
You know, though, Jack, what I really believe too is why men specifically, they have this issue with homeschooling. And I'm going to throw it to you for a question, Steve, in a second, is the deschooling aspect of it, right? Because you have been conditioned, us as men, we've been conditioned to live a certain way. And so when we're older, we have to start questioning, like, what's real, what's not real, what do I want to incorporate in my life, what do I want to take away? And that process can be challenging for a lot of people. And so while they're doing that, at the same time bringing their kids, they're like, man, fuck this, like, it's too much. But the reality is, it's showing our kids to continue to try even when we don't necessarily have the direction or always the right answer in that moment to continue forward. For me, I wanted to ask you, Steve, talk to me about your process when you started to dive into, hey, I'm going to homeschool, I'm taking full ownership of my family and moving forward.
Yeah, we made it an awesome, exciting, a cool thing, like that they didn't have to stress about friendships, because most of their closer friends were people they met outside of school anyway, from people that I was around, their kids, and they'd connect and they'd do some like jujitsu together or whatever. So we made it just a normal thing. They've seen the way that we already lived our lives. We work from home, we kind of do our own thing, set our own schedule, and live kind of a life of freedom. So it was exactly like that. It's like giving that, like, keep staying on this red pill kind of topic, giving that red pill option of realizing, all right, here's this homeschooling is not the destination. This is just the doorway. This is the doorway that's going to lead you to start to think for yourself and not have some freaking teacher tell you how to think and tell you just to be quiet and stay in your seat. And where you start questioning everything, like Jack just said, like, start thinking of yourself, start questioning everything, just sometimes questioning it just for the idea of playing the devil's advocate, to just stimulate your own mind and to choose discomfort over the sedation of all their friends in school that are just medicated into submission, and build yourself up and take responsibility instead of blaming other people. And like Jack was saying, seek the truth over just validation and conformity, and create shit instead of just consuming it. School is just consuming information. Instead, we're going to go and create. We're going to create our own thoughts, our own creations, and being a leader rather than a follower. And not just being a leader who's going to create future leaders. Like, this is all part of like our concepts and philosophy in homeschooling. And that's really where it really falls perfectly right into it. Because everything I just mentioned is the idea of taking that red pill, questioning everything, choosing the discomfort over just the blindfolded sedation, and building yourself up instead of blaming other people, taking on the responsibility for it, seeking the truth, and not just looking to validate the bullshit that's out there, and not conforming, and creating instead of consuming. It also ties into, like, not just, I think The Matrix and Fight Club are both such deep movies. We just watched Fight Club with our kids recently for the first time. And then we went so deep into that, like breaking it down. I did like a whole podcast episode on it. Like, it's so much to that movie. It goes so deep. I think they're kind of connected, the way to just like waking you up to the bullshit that's around you.
No, 100%. Both those movies are in my top 5 for sure, easily. And what you said there, Steve, in the middle, entrepreneurship. Most of our kids from homeschooling, they're not looking to go to college unless they need a skill, a specific skill. They're stacking skills and habits as kids. They're learning all this shit. Just like I'm watching your son. He has his own like little thing going on now, and he's crushing it. And it's just like, dude, that's what homeschooling is about. You're teaching your kids their true purpose, their true calling, how to be leaders, how to be entrepreneurs. And I think that's something that a lot of public school parents just sleep on. They don't realize that we're not here just wasting our kids' time, or we're just here to let them do whatever. We are here teaching them real life skills and habits at all costs. And I think that's like one of the most important things about homeschooling for me, is that my son's going to walk out of here. I mean, he's 5 years old. He's moved up in 2 levels in soccer. In jiu-jitsu, he was the captain at 2 locations. Now he's finally getting his butt kicked and handed to him the way it needs to be. Like, I told that to one of my friends back home, and they're just like, dude, you like your son losing? Like, no, he kicks ass all the time, but he needs to lose to learn. And in this house, we win or learn, and he's not learning if he wins all the time. So he does need to learn how to lose also, so he's gaining those skills. And they're just like, dude, I never thought about it like that. Yeah, because you're not the teacher of your kid. You are just co-parenting with the public education system. That's what you're doing. And I feel like it's just absurd to me that someone could just put their kid into daycare at like 2 years old, 1 year old, and then say that they're a parent when their kid just goes from daycare to public school to university, out of the house. It's like, dude, what kind of system? Do you guys really think that's aligned with our purpose of life, of living? That makes no sense to me.
Even school, even regular school, they're there, 8 hours a day for 13 years minimum, but without college. And they're there twice as much as any parent is spending time with their kid afterwards. And when the parent does come home from their work, the job that they probably hate, and the gym that they didn't go to, they don't have the energy to be present, and the time they are spending is not even deep, quality, meaningful time. Like, that's like a living fucking hell right there. And someone else is raising your kid. Hopefully they have good standards and values, whoever that teacher is, because you don't even know, that person could be against everything. That could be a freaking vegan who thinks boys should use a girl's bathroom, and who knows what else they're fucking shoving down their throat
Yeah, I'm glad
every
you
day,
highlighted.
influencing them.
Go ahead.
No, that was it.
I was going to say, I'm glad you highlighted that because when you look at the psychology behind it all, our values are learned in the first 7 years, and it's a strategic move of pulling the kids out of the home so they can implement the values that they want, so that it causes chaos in the house. I like Jack. I was laughing because I'm a big competitive guy. I love sports. So people that think that competition and this failure is so bad, where I look at it is like perceived failures. And I know all of us are in the military. We've been in the military. We have this military background, and we do AARs, after action reviews, often in military operations, and we learn of what we can get better on. It's only a failure if we don't learn from it. If we don't create this relationship to the discipline, if you break down discipline, it's all about to teach, to learn, and build a process in which you can become better. And so when I hear people, I laugh and I giggle because the fact of like failing and losing, that's not okay. We have to let everybody win. I totally disagree with that. This whole everybody wins concept is complete and utter bullshit.
Oh yeah, 100%. I put my son into the adult jiu-jitsu class since he was like 13. He's been now in the adult, now he's 14, and he got smashed for months and months and months straight by 200-pound men. And he's like 135, 140 pounds, 14 years old, and he's going 50-50 with the freaking adults. He's tapping them out also left and right. Yeah, he's still getting smashed against the good, bigger ones, but he's freaking holding his own. And the second he's done, tapped out, he's up, handshake in between the rounds. Those guys were sitting on the round trying to take a round off. He's over. He's like, want to go another round? And they're like, fuck, I can't duck a 14-year-old. So he's just nonstop going like, you're going to have to keep beating me. And guess what? Your time is up, going to be up soon because he's going to catch up to them. And all those years of getting smashed, it's going to lead to, it just leads to pure confidence. Like you can't be beaten. The man who already knows what it's like to be at rock bottom and been in the worst positions. And leads to such a confidence. It leads to such a preparation and confidence. It's awesome.
Bro, and plus it's like kids need to, well, one, they have to learn how to lose. But two, it's like, what happened to parents of just saying, my kid win or lose, we're going to teach them something, right? And instead it's like they all have to win, like you were talking about, Alex. And then they think you're crazy if you put them into jiu-jitsu or something like that. And then you talk about your son losing. I mean, I talk about my son winning also. But they need to be in positions that are uncomfortable. And I don't understand how that doesn't make sense to most people. Of like, get your fucking whole family into uncomfortable feelings and situations, and get yourself in situations that are like gonna grow you. Maybe you learn something and you grow. But I feel like so many people are so complacent and they're okay with that. They're just okay with being complacent, going with the flow, doing whatever the TV and the script tells them to do. And they don't look outside the box, and they don't even look outside the box for themselves. So why would they do it for their kids and say, oh, maybe I should put my kids in uncomfortable situations? I mean, even now, I talk to parents, and I was telling them I'm designing a rites of passage for teenage boys. Right around 13 years old, I want to do something here through the mountains. And I already run a warrior kid program for kids under 10. So I teach them what discipline leadership looks like. And I have dads. Steve, I swear to you, I have dads come up to me and they're just like, thank you. I can never teach this to my kids. Literally, it's in 3 phases. Phase 1, physical fitness. Phase 2, mental toughness. Phase 3, teamwork. And then an AAR at the end. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't teach this. This is as basic as it gets. It's 10-year-olds and under. That blows my mind that there's people that actually don't know how to teach discipline, leadership, life skills, anything. Like, how are you even making it through life? Well, who's paying you actually? What job do you have? Like, I need to know what these people do to survive, because it makes no sense to teach your kids no survival skills, no any habits or skills that are going to be beneficial for them as adults. And instead, they just go with emotions. And I think, like, how long can we actually do that before the society fucking crumbles?
Yeah, it goes right to that red pill. Like the red pill exposes that programming and realize that the world is training, and especially it's training men in general, to be soft and compliant, to be addicted and distracted and dependent on other people and other things, and dependent on someone else to teach their kid, raise their kid, give their kid consequences to discipline their kid. It exposes that the world is training us to be emotionally weak and physically weak and spiritually lost. Like that's what you don't need to be in a prison. The matrix, being caught in that matrix, as they call it, is it doesn't need bars or security guards. It uses comfort and entertainment and convenience and fear to just keep them prisoners. And shit, that's the majority. It's an uphill battle. I think we're fighting it. That's what we're here for, doing stuff like this. But it's an uphill battle. But that's the majority of freaking men, especially American men these days. Like that red pill is the moment that'll stop that programming from being passed down to generations.
Yeah. And one other thing, Alex, I know you're trying to jump on. I think it's funny when our kids are born, as parents, we're taught to lie to them right from the rip. We're like, oh, Christmas is coming up. Santa's real. Santa's fucking real. Easter Bunny's real. And I'm getting into this because my son yesterday is telling some kids, he's like, my son's 5. He's never known Santa Claus is real or any of this shit's real. I'm like, we'll play the game. We'll watch the movies. We'll have fun. But Santa's not real. Sorry. That's just that's how it works. Sorry, dude. And so I'm not going to lie to you. That's just not in me. That's part of who we are in this house. We do not lie. As a matter of fact, if he lies, he gets 150 burpees, and it's a bad day for him.
That's child abuse. That's torturing your kids.
Maybe my 17-month-old. I just dropped a video of my 17-month-old doing burpees, and someone's like, "There's people that get so pissed. I can't believe you let your 17-month-old. He's just watching his brother and his dad and mom working out, so he knows what a burpee is. Sorry that your kid's 10, fat as fuck, and doesn't know how to work out at all. Like that's not my fault. That's your fault. But anyways." Well, I wanted to say, I don't even know where I was going now. I got thrown off with that. Go on, Alex. Sorry, bro.
No, I mean, I wasn't going to jump in, but I'll take a second and just say, like, and we can all probably relate to this. When we start to take ownership in our lives and we start to be conscious and present, it's so funny that we're against the narrative. Like with this whole podcast, Dad's Against the Narrative. And I guarantee you that there's people out there that are staying away from this podcast because they think we're crazy. And crazy just means it means ownership. Crazy means that we can think for ourselves. The fact that we're not telling our kids that Santa Claus is real, like that's a real thing. Like my kids don't know Santa Claus is real. I'm laughing because there's some I say friends, but kids at the beach because I live in the Dominican Republic. That hey, don't tell Sebastian that Santa's not real. Like making sure that they tell my kids that. And it's hard because like you want to be around like-minded people. And that's the big thing. I liked what you were saying, Steve, earlier was going to these events and having your kids exposed to that. Because if we can start to show our kids that there's other people like that, there's a guy, and I think he'll be on here next week. I went and spent 2 months with him. His name's Greg Denning, and I wanted to show my kids that there was people just like us because everybody calls us crazy. And I'm like, kids, don't listen to the external. This is the standard for us. And as you expose your kids to more people that are like you, Jack, it's like, okay, I am normal. So that's all I was going to say, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. It starts to become all that they know. Like when we are around, I want to say average or normal people, like my kids can't stand. They hear someone say that they go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. My son will give me a look like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Is he even like alive? Like, holy shit. Or a man that shakes his hand sitting down and doesn't make eye contact, and my son stands up and looks at him, gives him a firm handshake. He's like, did you feel that guy's little girly freaking handshake? Didn't even look like they almost can't. It's almost like they're going to be banished from society because we only really put them around purpose-driven men and high performers. That's really all they know. And my daughter is going to be screwed when she's older, and it's time to get married because she's going to have such high standards and expectations, which is perfect. She's not going to have very much to choose from because she sees how her brother acts. She sees how her father acts. She sees how all the men she's ever around are just so disciplined and structured and polite and respectful, but savage servants. When she's out there in the real world, there's not going to be very much to choose from. Like that's why we got to now start shifting it so our daughters have at least a chance of having a man that can lead them in the future.
And that's the truth. I don't have daughters. I have 2 sons, so I tell my wife all the time, like the next 2 I hope are both boys. It's easier to raise savages, but I do know I'll melt if I have that daughter. I know my weakness will come. Alex, I know you're laughing because you know I'll fold all the way to a daughter. I'm like,
Because you're gonna have daughters now, just because you
eh,
said.
it's all right.
Yeah.
I'll love them any which way. They'll still be doing jujitsu. That's what someone asked me the one day, Steve. They're like, if you had a daughter, would you put her in jujitsu? I'm like, it's a non-negotiable in my house for all kids. All the kids are doing jujitsu. My 18-month-old, who just turned 18 months, um, he gets to start jiu-jitsu in 6 months. Here in Mexico, they can start at 2 years old in the one location. And already, if you ask him, hey, Rowan, you want to do jiu-jitsu? Rowan goes to the floor and gets in guard, like right away. I'm just like, it's awesome. And even soccer here, he can start at 2.5 instead of 3, just because his skill levels. He looks like his brother. He's just already like learning everything so fast. And plus, like he has a dad home all the time. So my first son, I was gone those first 2 years most of the time. And you could just see the difference when I'm around with a newborn all the way till he's a year and a half. It's just mom and dad are both there every day. So he's getting an equal love in different ways. And it's unbelievable to watch this kid because it's just something that I never thought even existed. And that's what I was going to get to is that a lot of parents take away what kids are able to do. It's like they put these strains on kids of saying, hey, you know what? They're just a kid. They're just a fucking kid. And I think homeschoolers, at least a lot that I know, or world schoolers, because there's a lot that live here in San Miguel, we are the ones who are saying, you know what? No, maybe our kid can do it, and our kid can try something fucking hard and actually do it. Like my son, my 5-year-old, for Christmas, he's getting a nice knife, right? And someone's like, "You're buying your 5-year-old a knife?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's 5 fucking years old. He needs to know how to use a knife properly." And how fun is that to carry a knife on you all the time as a kid and be able? I remember being a kid and I had all kinds of knives. Probably by the age of 7, I collected all kinds of knives.
Just because
And
those are the parents that aren't teaching the responsibility and not as present enough, so they think that's so dangerous and this and that. Like my son has shot every kind of gun imaginable because I know he can handle it because that's how we raise them. Those people haven't done the same thing. So to them, a knife is like you should be in jail for letting your son even go near a knife. That you're a horrible parent and you're irresponsible. Yeah, that's the mentality.
it's wow, that's such a crazy mentality for a human to have. I mean, my son at three, he was out at a gun range learning gun safety by a professional who's fucking phenomenal at just like it was at his own place. The owner came out and gave a 3-year-old all these lessons. It's super cool. And same thing, people are just like, you're gonna take your kid to, yeah, he's gonna learn how to shoot guns, he's gonna learn how to use knives, he's gonna learn how to kill animals and skin them and do all that stuff. The skills that I never got as a kid. I want him to have all of them. And so it's like all these people talking about, will you die for your kid? Will you live for your fucking kid? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you're not teaching them shit. You're letting everyone else teach them. And I want to bring it back to a couple of different conspiracies here that, this show, we dive down them a lot. When you get to certain things that you're learning with your kids or you're just talking and having conversations, I can only imagine with a 14-year-old. I have a 5-year-old, so it's just nonstop. He wants to ask questions. But he'll ask things like, Dad, why is the sky blue? And now we're going into shit like where it's like, well, and this is, I was just called a fucking conspiracy theorist because this. I'm like, well, I don't know. Some people think it's blue because of this. Some people think it's blue because water's divided and there's a firmament. He's like, what do you mean? And his whole room growing up was space. So he loves space. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Some people think, there's a flat earth or a round earth. And he's like, can you explain them? So I explained both. I'm like, here's the stuff, bro. What do you think you can do with it? Same thing. Dinosaurs, Dad. What do you think about dinosaurs? 5-year-olds, you don't even realize 5-year-olds ask like crazy questions until like you're open-minded to look at both sides. I'm like, well, dinosaurs, they started here, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, really? Let's look it up. So I look it up and it says dinosaurs didn't exist till 1817. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know that information. So now we have to go further and dig further and further. So if my son knows shit about flat earth, he told someone the other day, he's like, space isn't real. If I believe it's flat earth and the firmament and water's divided. And this mom spoke up, bro. It was crazy.
God damn it, you're a flat earther, aren't you?
I'm becoming that way for sure. But
look, man.
It makes more sense to me. And they won in the Supreme Court twice, but it's more because all of this happened because my son. because he asked the fucking questions. So then I go and dig down further and further until I can come up with some kind of solution. But I don't give him my full answer. I'm like, dude, you have to decide this. As you get older, you're going to understand this more. But dad, my only answer to him is, I've never been to space. I'm never going to space. I won't fucking know. And, that's like kind of how I talk to him. And I go, so what do you want it to believe? Because whatever you want to believe, you're allowed to. Because other people are going to tell you it's this, this, and this, and every movie is going to tell you this. Every classroom has a globe. Everything's always been pushed on us. So that also kind of makes me, and then I know about NASA. NASA's a very, very scandalous, department, or whatever you want to call it. Like the way it was built off of Disney, off of a lot of, bad scientists, and who they were, what their rank was in the Masonic temples. They're all 33rd degree, so it's like you look at all these things and you weigh all of it. And it's hard to like just pinpoint like, dude, this is right. The conspiracy theorists are right, or this person's right. It's more about like just having the information saying, this doesn't really affect my life, but the truth is we are getting lied to a lot, man. And that's what what I tell him all the time is like, we are getting lied to a lot. So we have to always question what we're learning. And how do we do that? Well, let's look at both sides. And so that's the major thing I think for me is that I want to give my kids both sides, even if I sound like a lunatic, telling my kids like, hey, dude, flat earth won. I guess that's it. Or dinosaurs aren't fucking real. Dragons are. Like, it sounds crazy. I feel like I'm crazy when I say that shit, but it's like, kids shouldn't motivate us to become better. And if they don't, then why are you even having kids?
And if nothing else, it's just sharpening their minds to, like we said in the beginning, is to think for themselves, to question everything, to look at both sides of a situation, because that's the problem with this country right now is people get shot in the fucking neck because they have a different opinion and different thoughts than other people. Like you can't have a debate on something or have a discussion on something without someone getting shot in the fucking neck. It's crazy. So you should be able to look at both sides of it and even look at the other side that you are completely against, and even sometimes have to be put in a position to plead a case for the other side just so you can understand it both, if nothing else, to sharpen your mind and open your mind and be a little more. It's really freedom. It's just all about freedom. It backs that red pill idea about freedom, questioning everything. It's an internal freedom to think clearly and act intentionally and build discipline and learn your own truths and live your own truths. And then it comes down to just that goes back to that purpose. All that leads to you now operating with a purpose when you start seeing the world through your own eyes, because you're not controlled by the system or what people are telling you needs to be, or excuses or conditioning or comfort. Like, it's just living alive, living awake, being awake, and not being that sleepwalker just dragging ass through life.
Steve, I have a question for you. It's going to tie into the flat earth thing just because I have to give Jack some shit because he's a flat earther, which is cool. No, the point really, what Jack made, and I really appreciate it, and you too, is like just have the information. Like, once you have the information, make the judgment call for yourself. Did you do, when you were in the Marines, were you a Marine Expeditionary Unit? Like, were you in a MEU?
We were at part of the time, yeah.
Okay, so being in the Navy, firsthand here, Jack, being out to sea and actually watching the Earth, like you're going over the ocean, the sun goes away. It was going away. So
it doesn't go down; it goes away, just like you said. It goes away. It pushes. If you push something far enough away, I'm telling you, man. I've looked into this. Like, I have many hours into this now and this
dude,
just
you have me dying. Every
But
time we talk about this, I love your animation because it's just like I'm not questioning it. I feel like the Earth's round, but you are amazing with everything. And especially I could just imagine Destin like, the Earth is flat. It's a flat Earth, Dad.
Well, I mean, like, you have to remember, like, the Supreme Court. It's gone to the Supreme Court twice. Flat Earth won twice. Or the globe model has never won, ever, not even close. And when did the globe model come out? In the 1800s. Again, so like you look at all the maps of the world prior, and for thousands of years, I know people think like cavemen. We all came from cavemen and monkeys. I don't believe on all that shit either. I believe what like the tablets say, right? The Sumerian tablets, the Emerald tablets. I believe that probably is more likely, because I think if you go with the space model, and this is my biggest takeaway, is that they keep doing this fucking image where it's like they go further out. You are here. You are nothing. you mean shit. But in the flat earth model, you are everything because God is within and you can create every single thing because we are energy of the same God. So to me, that I like that whole stance more of like you are more important instead of zooming all the way out, being like, dude, you're a fucking piece of shit. You're nothing. You're an ant.
And it
So
goes
it's
back
like,
to like think of the red pill idea, or if you have that belief in God and the faith, it comes to the point almost like, is it flat? Is it round? Are the planets all real? Also, does it fucking matter if you took that red pill and you're living your have your own faith and belief? Then really either way doesn't matter. You're good either way.
100%. I agree with that. And I think that's the problem with so many people. They can't be friends with other people or have even conversations with other people that have opposing beliefs. Yet me and Alex, I mean, we've talked now for 3 years on every subject, and we don't believe every single thing each other says or agree on how we homeschool or agree on like every single thing. That makes no fucking sense in the real world.
And yet you're not shooting each other in the fucking neck. Amazing. You can have a debate and have alternate conversations and even still be friends. Amazing how that could work. Imagine if most of the world saw things that way and be a whole different place.
I mean, we grew up that way. I mean, Steve, what are you? You're like in your mid 40s, probably upper 40s.
Yeah, actually, today, turned 48 today.
Hey, happy
Happy
birthday, man.
bro. And I'm 44, and it's like I look back to just my childhood. I'm like, dude, it was a whole different world. It was a whole fucking different world. And how can I deliver of my childhood? Because I had a great childhood. I didn't have a father or anything, but like I had cool friends. We did cool shit. We were always exploring. We were creating, and we were free to do that anywhere in the neighborhood because you don't know who's watching you. You know, mom down the street will smack your ass if you mess up anyways. It was like a team effort back then. And now I hear all my friends, because I've been living in Mexico now, 2 years? So here we have that. That's why I moved here, was my sons have the ability to just go out. My son right now is literally in the courtyard. He ran across, knocked on his buddy's door and said, oh, is Talon home? Can I play with him? And like he does that every single day. He runs across, he hangs out with his friends. They're running through this entire development. And that's what I wanted. But in the States, I felt like, where the hell is that even available anymore? Is that available? Or is everyone scared because there's so much violence going on in the United States?
And it's so crazy. Think about like breaking free from the matrix and all this other stuff. When you tell the average American you're moving to Mexico, the second they think is exactly what you're saying. Oh my God, how can you do that? It's so unsafe because we are conditioned to think that way. Like I've been caught that, like every person you know from Mexico, you end up having a conversation about the cartel. No matter what, it turns into a conversation about, well, are cartels in your neighborhood? Like, because that's just what we're conditioned to think. Even hearing you say this, I'm like, that's freaking wild. Like, that's so cool how you're able to do that. You took that red pill to go move to Mexico because everyone sees it as impossible. From this side, we see it. No way. You would never do that. You must be crazy. They're probably dodging AK-47 bullets all day when they're running across the courtyard. Like that's what you're programmed to see, the same way that people are programmed to think that school is the only way. And it's like so eye-opening just hearing you talk about it, like such a different perspective on what you're told or what you're thought or what you're kind of brainwashed to think about certain things.
I mean, it's because so many people, I think, are in this little tunnel vision, and they just don't see anything else. They only hear what they've been programmed to hear. And we've all been programmed. I'm not saying anyone out there listening, I wasn't programmed. I was 100% programmed, but I did a little de-schooling, like we talked about earlier, where I had to relearn and I had to forget kind of what I was taught and say, you know what, is this the truth? Was it the truth? Was I taught the best way? Is there different ways to it? And when you start doing that, you realize like, you know what? Maybe the whole world's totally different than what we were programmed. And when I went to Mexico, originally we were in Cancun, well, south of Cancun, this little fishing village called Puerto Morelos. And now we live up in the mountains in San Miguel de Allende, just about 3 hours north of Mexico City. So I'll have people be like, oh, dude, the violence, the cartel will get you eventually or your family. I'm like, dude, do you guys know anything about the cartel? Do you know who runs the cartel? No? Okay, then shut the fuck up because, you know, Washington, D.C. and the cartel talk to each other. So it's kind of just like the same thing in the Middle East. We taught them all their skills and we're buddies with them. We'll take out the first person that goes against the central bank.
And the same thing in every neighborhood. Like the United States is just this safe, like wonderland. Like look at the dumb shit you see on the news every freaking day. Like no different. Freaking crazy. And then those people, like the guy with the consequences, they'll tell you you're having your kid do burpees at 18 months old and they have to do jujitsu. It's mandatory. Like, you are brainwashing your kids. They'll say, why are you You're damn fucking right on brainwashing, but to be disciplined, to be healthy, to be leaders, to be polite, to look a man in the eyes, to stand firm and tall and strong and be a leader. Fuck yeah, I'm disciplined or brainwashing him. Rather than have the school, what is the school doing? Brainwashing them, like we've been talking about this whole time, and just making them oblivious to everything around them. They're just brainwashing them in the whole different direction. With that blue pill is brainwashing that side. So damn right I'm brainwashing my kids to what we believe in our way of doing things and operating.
Yeah, 100%. Go on, Alex.
I was just going to say, I was going to add, I would go even farther and say, why does it have to be brainwashing? It's just values, right? Like, we're going to give our kids values, and we're going to have them have a standard where, in my opinion, everybody else, they just leave it to the wolves, right? And making it to where us having values is a bad thing. We need more men with values. We need more families with values, more, like you said, Steve, purpose-driven families. I like that term. I know you said men, but I'm going to take it and say purpose-driven families.
Yeah, hell yeah, I like it. I like that. That brainwashing. Why brainwashing? It's just values and standards, and they're going to do with those values and standards whatever they want, and they're going to usually make the right, good decisions. So why brainwashing when it's just values and standards? I love it.
All right, Steve, we're coming to the end here. So I just want to say thanks again for being here. And guys, go follow Steve. Where's the best place for people to contact you or just follow you, Steve?
I'm a believer in the right people clashing and colliding at the right times. I'm sure if we are meant to cross paths, they'll find it. It's not hard to find me. I'm an ugly, loud, bald, white guy on Instagram, so they could find me.
All right, Steve Eckert 1 on Instagram. And Steve, the way that we close the show, I'm going to just say my last words. Then I'll pass to Alex, and you will get the final word to leave us with. So, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Remember, share the show. That's the only way we grow. And go ahead and like us and comment and subscribe wherever you're at. YouTube, Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're everywhere, guys. So check us out. Anyways, I love this conversation. I think we can go further and further, especially this last part where you're just talking about with being the child's inner voice. If we aren't the inner voice for our children, especially in those foundational years, up to 7, 9 years old, some people say even, then you're going to give that up to anyone else that's around them. And it doesn't mean just school. It could be the playground when people are just hanging out. It could be at the park. It could be anywhere. If you're not choosing your kids' friends, again, it's anywhere. So you have to be vigilant as a dad out there. And did you ever see that show where the pedophile was getting asked, what makes you go after certain kids? And it was always, the dad looks like he's weak. The dad's not around. The dad's not present. It's always about dad. So that's why we need to step up as dads. And that's why you hear Steve, Alex, and me all preaching the same thing, is we need to set the standards. We need to live the standards. We need to set the tone in the house and be leaders and show our kids what that is. And even if your kid's public schooled, you can still do plenty for them. You have the weekends, you have after school. You just have to put them first and not yourself every single day. Steve, thanks for being here. Alex, thanks for co-hosting. I'll pass it over to you, Alex.
Hey, brother, I appreciate it. I just want to say, for those that are listening, Steve, it was an amazing conversation, always inspiring. Anytime I listen to you, I watch you, you're one hell of a man. For me, the takeaways is we're shifting from this victim mindset to being a creator of our life, right? We can continually bitch and complain about the things that happen to us, or we can create the life that we want. And one thing that with you and how you show up in the world is you're giving men permission to integrate being a purpose-driven man and creating a purpose-driven family. And so showing yourself, exposing yourself to be a better father and a husband, and creating men and women with values, and just leading with curiosity and creativity in the world, man. So I just want to say I appreciate you, and that's all I got.
Oh yeah, awesome. I think that's the purpose of man, is to be a father. And that's why we were put here, is to be fathers, to be leaders, and create future leaders. And that means making yourself better every day, making everyone around you better every day, controlling your freaking emotions, bringing order to the chaos, being that civilized savage like we're talking about. But it really also means getting your house in order. Like we started off in the beginning, how your legacy is built in the living room, not in the classroom, is a perfect way to bring it all circle. Be the man that brings the order to chaos. Be the man that your son wants to become, that your daughter would want to marry, that your wife can respect and feel safe around. Like, that is our job as freaking men. And let's make being a father be cool again, not being a burden. Let it make it be fucking cool again. Having a family and doing family shit be cool again, because it's what's missing. It's the number one thing missing, and think in this country right now is that man who has his house in order and is freaking present. Let's start building a life we don't need a vacation from, and don't wait a lifetime to start living your legacy. Your legacy is not after you're dead. Your legacy starts right fucking now as a husband, a father, a leader, and a man.
Hell yeah. Thank you, guys. That's a wrap. Take it easy.
Take care.